Asadadhana Purusha Asadadhana Purusha Dharmasya Asya Parantapa Dharmasya Parantapa Asadadhana Purusha Dharmasya Parantapa Aprapya Mang Nivattanti Aprapya Mang Nivattanti Mritu Samsara Vatmani Mritu Samsara Vatmani Aprapya Mang Nivattanti Mritu Samsara Vatmani Asadadhana Purusha Dharmasya Parantapa Asadadhana Purusha Aprapya Mang Nivattanti Mritu Samsara Vatmani. So, Asadadhana, those who are faithless. So, those who are faithless. Faithless means anyone can understand those who do not believe in the words of God. They are faithless. Just like a child by nature, he has to believe his parents, his superiors, his teacher. But if he does not believe in the words of the superior, then where is the possibility of education? There is no possibility. This is the first qualification. If you go to a teacher to learn ABCD, the teacher says, my dear child, you begin from the left side in this way. Then if the student says, why shall I begin in this way? I shall begin this way. Then he is faithless. He cannot make any progress. It is not possible. The first qualification is Saddadhana, faithful. If you go to a teacher, you must be faithful. Otherwise there is no need of going to a teacher. If you cannot believe in the words of somebody whom you are going to appoint as your teacher, if you have no faith in his word, then what is the use of going to such teacher? There is no use. Don't waste your time and don't waste his time. Therefore, those who are going to learn to become a disciple or teacher, he must believe in the words of teacher. Or, if you are doubtful, you should not go to a such teacher. This is first qualification. If you do not believe somebody, then you find out someone else upon whom you can put your faith. Yes, here is the right man who can teach me. Otherwise, there is no use of going to a teacher. This is the Vedic principle. The Vedic principle is everyone is in ignorance. Because the evolution is coming from the lower species of life. And in Western countries, the Darwin's theory of evolution is very prominent, and they believe that man is coming from monkey. Of course, the Vedic Shastra also says the birth of human being are from three sources. One from the cow, the other from the lion, and the other from the monkey. The monkey word is there. Those who are coming in the Satagun, modes of goodness, their last birth is as cow. And those who are coming through the Rajagun, their last birth is lion. And those who are coming through the Tamagun, their last birth is monkey. Then there are, we have explained many times, so the lower animals, less than the human being, there are 8 million forms. Jalayana lakhani savra lokkavinsati Krimaya rudra sankhaka pakshinam dasalakhakam tinsalakshani pasava chaturlakhani manasa. This is the list of evolution. Darwin has taken, but he has explained in a different way, misguiding way. But anyway, the evolution theory, it is not theory, it is fact, that is acceptable by the Vedic scholar also. It is explained in the Padma Purana, Asiteng Chaturang Saiva Lakhang Sthana Jiva Jatishu. This is the statement in the Padma Purana, that the Asiteng Chaturang Saiva, 8,400,000. They say in the Vedic language 4,800,000, 8,400,000. Anyway, the evolution is there, and in the lower species of life, there are 8 millions human forms of life, only 400,000, out of which more than 300,000 forms of life are uncivilized men. They do not know what is the aim of life. The best form of human life, the Aryans. Aryans means those who are advanced. So, the Aryan family, the history of Aryan family from Central Asia, Caucasian ranges, is divided. The Indo-Aryans, Indo-Europeans, this is the history of mankind. So, the Europeans, they belong to the Indo-Europeans. And some of the Europeans, not the uncivilized, the civilized, they came from that side, eastern side, when there was a threatening by Parsuram to kill the Kshatriyas. So most of the Kshatriyas, they came to Europe, and some of them settled in the middle, the border of Europe and Asia, Turkey, Greece. There is a big history, Mahabharata. Mahabharata means the greater history of India. So, on the whole, the conclusion is that the Aryans spread in Europe also, and the Americans, they also spread from Europe. So, the intelligent class of human being, they belong to the Aryans, Aryan family. Just like Hitler claimed that he belonged to the Aryan family. Of course, they belong to the Aryan families. So, there is gradual process of evolution, and the human form of life is the greatest evolution. Here is a junction. Now you can go elevate yourself to further higher status of living condition, that is called devata or demigods. Urdhvam gacchanti sattvasva. If you develop the quality of goodness, then you are promoted to the higher planetary system. Urdhvam gacchanti sattvasva madhye tishthanti rajasa. If you do not develop further, if you remain whatever quality of God just now, you remain within this world, and adho gacchanti tamasa, and if you do not develop goodness or remain in the same quality, but you degrade yourself, then again go to the cycle of birth in the animal kingdom. This is the law of nature. Urdhvam gacchanti sattvasva madhye tishthanti rajasa jaghanna gunavittista adho gacchanti tamasa. Jaghanna gunavittista. Jaghanna means abominable. Abominable, without any distinction. Whatever I like, I shall do. No, you cannot do that. You have got now super consciousness. You must decide whether you want to stop this evolutionary process, cycle of birth and death, and go back to home, back to Godhead, or if you want to continue again the cycle of birth and death, that is up to you to decide. This is the human form of life. Therefore, how you can promote yourself to the higher status of life, or how you can degrade yourself to the lower status of life, that is to be decided. In the Bhagwat Gita you will find janti deva brata devan pitrin janti pitunibrataha bhute ja janti bhutani madjajinopi janti ma. There are 4 ways suggested. If you want to go to the higher planetary system, not by force you can go to the moon planet. That is not possible. That is simply childish. You cannot go. You must have to be qualified how to go there. Just like if somebody comes to your country, Australia, he has to take the visa, permit, passport, so many things. Then you allow. How you can be allowed to enter into the moon planet, which is the residential place of demigods. That is a very controversial point. They say that they have gone to moon planet and there is no life. This is simply nonsense. Every planet is full of living entities. But if they say they could not find any living entity, then it is to be understood they haven't gone to the moon planet. There are many other points also we do not wish to discuss. But moon planet is the higher planetary system, sun planet is the higher planetary system, and there are many others. If you like to go there, you can go. Janti deva brata devan, you have to prepare yourself for going there. Similarly, there are Pitri lokas. You can see so many thousands and millions of planets. Every planet is residential quarter. Just like this planet is residential quarter, every planet is residential. Innumerable lives there are according to the position. So, here it is said that Aswaddhadhana Purusha, Krishna is giving you a system as you can go to him, back to home, back to God. That is Krishna consciousness movement. Why one should go to God? No, that is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Jadgatyana nivartante tadhamam paramam mama. You can go to any other planet, you can have very long duration of life. The standard of living is very, very high. Just like here in this planet, sometimes we see the standard of living condition in Europe, America is better than other places, and they become very much clever that in Europe and America and Australia is also another edition of European. So big roads, big skyscraper house are very comfortable. So as we see differences of standard of living here, similarly each and every planet there is different standard of living. And it is said in the Shastra that if you go to the moon planet, then you live there for 10,000 of years. 10,000 of years, and their calculation of time is also greater than ours. It is calculated that our 6 months is equal to their 1 day. That is called Deva calculation. In this way, you can get very long duration of life, very comforts, nice, beautiful body, and residential quarters. Everything is very, very nice. Each higher planetary system is better than the other, better than the other. In this way, you can go to the Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka means where the topmost planet. They have calculated, modern astronomers and the planet goers, that it takes about 40,000 of years to go to the topmost planet of this universe. So these things are there. Anyway, in Bhagwat Gita, it is said that even if you go to the topmost planet, there is also birth, death, old age and disease. You cannot avoid this. So long you shall remain within this material world, you have to accept these 4 principles of material condition, that you will have to die. Either you live for 10,000 of years or 10 millions of years, it doesn't matter, you have to die. Even Brahma dies, who has got many millions of years. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Brahma's 1 day, daytime duration, which is calculated our 12 hours. Because 12 hours day, 12 hours night, that is 24 hours. So Brahma's 1 daytime duration, 12 hours, is calculated to be 4,300,000 of years multiplied by 1,000. Now calculate, what is it? That is 4,300,000 of years. 4,300,000,000 years or something like that. That is our 12 hours, Brahma's 12 hours is that. Then add 12 hours again, 400 billion years. That means altogether 8 billions of years. That is 1 day, Brahma. Then calculate 1 month. Then calculate 1 year. Such 100 years he lives. So that is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Sahasra juga parjantam marahajjat brahmano vidu. Sahasra juga parjantam. 1 yuga means 43 lakhs of 100,000 of years. Sahasra means 1,000. That is, everything is stated there. You can learn, you can understand. So that is called Brahmaloka. And it is also stated, Abrahma bhavana lokan punaravartina Arjuna. Even if you reach to the Brahmaloka, you can get long duration of life, there is no doubt. But again, punaravartina, you have to die and you have to go to another body and another planet. But I am eternal. We are eternal. Na hannate hannavane sarire. by destruction of this body, maybe after 2 hours or 4 minutes, there are many living entities. They live for some minutes, some seconds, some years. The human in this material world, in this planetary system, we live, say, at most 100 years. But in other planetary system, they live for millions of years. It is, of course, the world is relative. According to your position, the relative condition is there. My past and present and future is not the same past, present, future of an ant. The ant's past, future may be 3 hours or 4 hours. Our past, present means 100 hours, and Brahma's past, present millions of years. Everything is relative according to the position. So, real aim of life is to stop this cycle of birth and death. That is real aim of life. If we do not know this, then we are ignorant. We are ignorant. First of all, we must know that I am eternal. That is, in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, it is very nicely explained that antavattu ime deha nitya sukta saririna. My dear Arjuna, this body is destructive. But the proprietor of the body, he is eternal. That is the first instance. I am not this body. I am the proprietor of this body. You are not this body. You are the proprietor of this body. But if we think that I am body, then that is the same thing as the dog is thinking. That's what I have given in this statement, that if we think this lump of matter as myself, then we are no better than the dog. The dog is also thinking like that. That human form of life is meant for understanding that I am not this lump of matter. I am aham brahmasmi. I am spirit soul. That is required. The whole Bhagavad Gita teaching is based on this principle. First of all, to understand that I am not this body. I am spirit soul. Brahma, aham brahmasmi. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sotati na kankati. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labati para. If from this material conception of life, somehow or other, you come to the understanding that you are not this body, lump of matter, you are spirit soul, you are different from this body. That is called Brahma Bhuta state. And as soon as you become on the Brahma Bhuta status, then symptom will be nasotati prasannatma, you become happy immediately. Everyone is unhappy in this material world. That's a fact. And because, why you are unhappy? Because we have accepted, misaccepted, wrongly accepted this body, myself. This is the defect of modern civilization. So long you do not understand that you are not this body, you are different from this body, you are Brahma, you are part and parcel of God, then your activities become different. Because at the present moment, we are acting on the bodily concept of life. I am American, I am Indian, I am Australian, I am white, I am black, I am Brahman, I am Shudra, I am this, that. Only this bodily concept of life. And the Krishna consciousness begins when you are free from this bodily conception of life. That is called Brahma Bhuta. Brahma Bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankati samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labati para. Bhakti, this activity begins when you are Brahma Bhuta. Now what is the symptom of becoming Brahma Bhuta? That is stated, prasannatma, happiness, only happiness. There is no question of distress. That is Brahma. You cannot say, now I have become Brahma realized, Brahma Bhuta, but I am crying for cigarette. No. Immediately test. So you cannot be unhappy. I am not this thing, that thing. Because here we are creating wants. Kankhati. This material civilization means simply creating wants. That's all. Big want or small want, that is called Kankhati. And another counterpart of this material life is, whatever you have got, if it is lost, then you cry. One side is you are hankering after something which you do not possess. And if your possession is lost, then you cry for the loss. This is two business. Kankhati, sochati. But if you become Brahma Bhuta, self-realized, these two things will be absent immediately. Na sochati, na kankhati. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu. Now there is racial animosity all over the world. You are American, you are Russian, you are Indian, you are Chinese, you are Pakistani. Their fighting is going on this understanding. We are Chinese, we are Americans, we are Russians. So, when you come to the platform of Nasochati, not identifying with this body, then samas sarveshu bhuteshu. You see everyone on the same platform. You do not see here is a Chinese or American or Australian. You see a soul is entrapped in a material body. So material body is lump of matter. We are concerned with the spirit soul. Then samas sarveshu bhuteshu. Pandita samadarshina. One who is learned, Pandit, he is samadarshana. He has no more this vision that here is an American, just like in our society you'll find. People from all parts of the world. There are Americans, there are Indians, there are Africans, Canadians, Japanese. But we don't feel like that. I am Japanese, I am Indian, I am American. We all feel servant of Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. Nasochati nafan. This is United Nation. Not that going to the United Nation and barking like the dog. I am American, I am Indian, I am seen, I am that. What is the benefit? Therefore they are barking for the last 20, 30 years. What benefit has come? You cannot make the dogs, you bring some dogs from America and from Australia and from India and put them together and ask them, please live very peacefully. If you keep them as dogs, they will simply bark. There will be no more peace. Just try to understand practically. You have to make them human beings. If you keep them dogs and cats, there cannot be any peace. This is really knowledge. The Krishna consciousness movement is giving such knowledge that they will never remain a dog or cat. They will become actual human beings. This is Krishna consciousness. Therefore it is said, asaddadhana purusha. Those who have not faith in this process of understanding Krishna consciousness, asaddadhana purusha dharmasya asya. Now this is real dharma. Dharma means occupation. I have explained yesterday. I am servant of God. This is my real occupation. But giving up my service to God, I am giving service to Maya. Therefore, I am servant of my senses, my family, my society, my country, my nature. And if I haven't got to serve anybody, then I keep one dog, I become a servant of the dog. And somebody was just telling me that in Japan, the dog passes stool and the master collects it and put it somewhere. Yes, you see? Oh, this is going on. Your position is to become servant. But in Maya, in illusion, you are thinking of master. Therefore, the best thing is that instead of becoming at last the servant of a dog, just immediately become servant of God. That is your success of life. And if you don't agree, then you have to serve, up to the dog, up to the cat. Many Europeans, Americans, they have no children, but they keep one cat, one dog to serve. You see? But you have to serve, because you are meant for that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy is that Jiver Sarupa Nitya Krishna Das. That is our permanent situation. We are servant of God. I have explained yesterday that we are part and parcel of God. Now, as part and parcel of God, what is our duty? The example I have given, just like the finger, is the part and parcel of my body. So what is the duty? As soon as I say, finger, please come here, it comes. Finger, come here. Do this, do that, because this is finger's business. A finger cannot remain independent. Or if the finger cannot give the service properly, then it is disease. Similarly, our material condition means we are in disease condition. We are not giving service to God, we are giving service to the dog. This is our disease condition. So, God is Himself explaining how you should live. That is Bhagwat Gita. Therefore it is said, Asaddhana Purusha Dharmasya Saparantapa. My dear Arjuna, if somebody has no faith in my words, then what will be the result? The result will be aprapama. He will not get me. Aprapa means not getting myself. Then what he will get? Aprapamang nivartante. Again he goes back. Instead of going back to home, back to Godhead, he goes back to where? Na mrityu samsara vartmani. Again in the cycle of birth and death. Again cycle of birth. Suppose this human form of life, you can make your life so perfect that immediately after death, after giving up this body, you go back to home, back to God. You regain your eternal life. But if you misuse this human form of life, do not endeavor for going back to home, back to God, then again go back to the cycle of birth and death. This is nature. You are not independent. Nature is working like that. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankara vimuratma kartaham iti mannati. You are thinking foolishly as a rascal that you are independent. You are not independent. You are completely under the control of material nature. Now, in this human form of life, there are two ways. You go back to home, back to Godhead, or go back to again to become a pig, hog, and tree and plant. This is the plan of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you very much.
Dear Prabhupada, you were saying about misusing this human form of ours. Is there any greatest offence that makes our soul non-eternal? You were mentioning about Hitler. It seems that he has committed a lot of sins. Would you say that he would still have eternal life?
Hitler or anyone, if he does not take advantage of this human form of life for going back to home, back to Godhead, he will be put into the cycle of birth, maybe different forms of body.
I have another question. You were talking about the planets, the planetary system. The planets in our solar system, are they in the middle planetary systems or the lower planetary systems?
What is the question about planetary system?
This planet, where is it situated in the planetary system?
You cannot understand it. The whole planetary system is just like a big tree, and there are many fruits. So here, this plant Planet is one of the fruits of the planetary system.
The planets in our solar system are it.
Yeah, astrology, astronomy, that is planetary system. It is the Vedic system. You can see at night the whole planetary system is moving like this. Bunch of tree. And in Bhagwat Gita it is said, Urdhamulam adhosakha. This, it is just like a big tree, and the root is upwards, and the branches and fruits downwards. This is the pole star is the center of this root of this planetary system. So you read our books, 5th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll get full description.
Sorry, you were talking about the higher planets?
Yes. Don't you see higher planetary system?
You were talking
The
about
sun planet, the moon planet, they are not higher on your top. There are many others, millions. These are prominent. According to Vedic system, the moon planet is higher than the sun planet. So these descriptions are there in the 5th canto. I should request you to read them to understand.
Srila Prabhupada, Krishna is perfect and complete in himself, so why are there the individual, minute living entities? If Krishna is perfect, surely there would be no need for other smaller living entities.
What is that?
Krishna is perfect and complete, and why does he need little entities like us?
So, a High Court judge, why his son becomes a loafer?
If there's a high court judge and he has a son, why does the son sometimes become a loafer?
Is it guaranteed that because one is son of High Court judge, he will also become a High Court judge? There is no such guarantee. Everyone is individual. We are sons of God, that's all right. But we have got little independence. If we misuse our independence, then we become lower. Krishna is perfect, there is no doubt. But we are part and parcel. Just like another example. There is a fire and there are sparks of fire. These sparks are very little small fire particles. Sometimes they fall down from the fire and it becomes extinguished. The fiery quality is lost. Similarly, we are all parts and parcel of God, but when by misusing our intelligence or independence, we come here in this material world to enjoy, our godly qualities becomes lost. Again, if we revive, then you go back to home, back to God. The Krishna consciousness movement is to help people. How to revive is God consciousness. Again goes back to home, back to God. Tattadehang punarjanmanaiti mameti kohunti. It is clearly said. If simply one tries to understand what is Krishna or God, and if he actually understands, then after giving up this body, he is no more going to accept any material body. He goes back to home, back to God. Why don't you try for that? Try to understand Krishna. Krishna is explaining himself. You take this Bhagavad Gita as it is and read it regularly, you will understand Krishna, your life is successful. You have asked one question. Any more? What is your question?
what is the purpose of so many nationalities on this earth?
What is that?
What is the purpose of so many nationalities?
If I say, I already said dog is mentality, that's all. You remain dog, go on barking. That's all. What is the national? I am American, I am my first interest, I am Australian, I am Indian, I am Pakistan. They are working in Indian tradition, that's all. This is the benefit. Bark and die like dog, that's all. Better chant Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
All right, chant Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.